So I want to introduce you to the 5 tough talks, the conversations that change everything. You see, I was in leadership working through transformational role after transformational role. And what I found was the more tough conversations I had, the better I got at it. So I felt like I got a PhD quickly on what to do and what not to do. But fast forward, on the outside, as I'm working with leaders all over the world, we still run into the same challenges. How do I start the conversation? What should I say when it gets messy in the middle? And how do we always end for accountability and action? What are the moves I need to do? So we created 5 tough talks, the framework for all leaders, teams, and businesses. And I'll tell you, when we launched it on Amazon about 18 months ago, it became a bestseller day one, which is huge. And it reminds me that we are going to get better and better as we lean into the framework. So, Gallup last year published a study that talks about managers and leaders having one meaningful conversation per week per team member outperforms any other leadership activity. Does that surprise you? No? Yes. Yes. Here's what I learned as I looked closer into the research is, if I invest in the relationship, and I invest in the connection, and I invest in growing the people around me, including myself, but the people around me, that is what. So we get so bogged down with the tasks, right? And it's like, well, what about if we just focused on this one thing? One meaningful conversation per week, per team member outperforms more than any other leadership activity. And when I think back to Michaela's talk around the 4 values, this is all about courage and love. If you love someone enough, if you care about them enough, you should be willing to have the conversations with them, right? And I appreciate Marcy. Is Marcy here in the house today? The franchisee, Marcy, who was the 4th person on the panel. Where are you at, Marcy, girl? Hey, Marcy, yes! Marcy, what did you talk about? You talked about the underperformers, right? And the power of being able to have these conversations. When Marcy was up there, I'm in the back going, yes! Like, way to go, Marcy. Thank you for highlighting that and teeing this up. So, what I want to do is just give you a quick intro to the conversations. And we're going to practice one of them, the first level one, the how we work. So, the how we work conversation, this is the foundational one. We get so focused as leaders on strategy, goals, and objectives, and tasks, all important things, right? That's the what we're supposed to do. That we forget about the how. The how is how do you want me to show up for you? How should you show up for me? So we can build a relationship and do the work that we need to do the best. If I need to challenge you or give you feedback, what's the best way to do that? Joe, if I'm seeing something, where's Joe? Joe's right here. If I'm seeing something you are not seeing, what's the best way to share it with Joe? And these conversations help us build such strong momentum on the strategies, goals, objectives, because we're taking time either one-on-one or as a team to get aligned and stay aligned. And then if we do get out of alignment, we jump back right into the conversation. So the how we work. The next one is the ask. 73% of us wait to ask for something until it's almost too late. It's only 25% of us ask for something when we're starting something new, like a new project, a new goal. Only 25% of us ask for help. So in the ask, we talk about asking for permission, asking for acknowledgement, or asking for help. The next one, the what's going on conversation. This one feels the most awkward, but it's the one that really drives change. So let's say you're working with somebody and you've noticed they're coming in late, or even better, let's say that their mood has kind of taken a dip. They're normally a uplifting, great person to be around with at work, but they're quiet, isolating themselves, And you might think to yourself as a leader, and I'll give it a few days, they'll be fine. But that doesn't change, and they continue to spiral. What if we just paused and say, hey, I've noticed that something's different about you, or that you feel, or that I'm noticing that you're quieter. Talk to me about what's going on. By us having the what's going on conversation, our presence is the intervention. Now that's one-on-one. Let's say we take time to have the how we work conversation, and we're rolling along, and you're noticing some tension or something's happening with you and this person. It's a perfect time to say, listen, I feel like we haven't been on the same page lately. Can we explore what's going on with us right now? And again, this helps us get back into alignment. Your presence is the intervention by simply asking this question. And it can help shift what needs to happen in your relationship, the work you're doing, and the performance. The next one, the being better conversation. Raise your hand for me if you've ever had to have a conversation where there's a pattern of behavior or a pattern of performance that isn't going so well. You've had 3, 4, 5 conversations and you're going, why are they not changing? What is happening here? Well, the good news is you're having the conversations. The tough news is you can only control yourself and how you show up. So anytime I need to have a being better conversation, I make sure that I take the time to really script out so they can have the impact that it needs. The person can hear it and make a choice to potentially do something about it. And then the final one, the moving on conversation. This moving on one is always the toughest. But it could be moving on from a project, like saying, okay, this project isn't going to serve our business anymore. We've got to let it go. It could be moving on from a relationship that just isn't working for you anymore. Or it could be moving on from a position, which I know is so hard. It's the toughest of tough conversations. So, what I will tell you is if we get really good at the first 3, the how we work, the ask, the what's going on, we will have a lot less of the being better or the moving on conversations. And if we do have to have a being better or a moving on conversation, we've gotten really good at the first 3, so it'll be easier for us to have those 2.